Hey everyone, it's Mike Shutty, co-founder of Horse Racing Nation and your author of the Kentucky Derby SuperScreener. Well, the preps are all in and the field's pretty much set at this point with about a week to go to that first Saturday in May. And of course, the final workouts and the post-draw, that'll be our final input in deciphering this year's very unique 2016 Kentucky Derby. In this video, I'm going to share with you some most critical must-have, must-know insights to put you on the path to winning and cashing in this year's Kentucky Derby. Now, one of the most critical, unique setups here in this race is that the pace could be very moderate, maybe even slow. That's very, very atypical of many of the derbies we've seen over the years, where a lot of those sprinters got in thanks to no qualifying point system and really created some of those wicked, brutal, crazy pace scenarios, which just made closers dominate in some of those years. Now, this year, we have one lone pace horse, maybe two pressers behind that horse. Sets up to look very different than the prep races that were run prior here to the Kentucky Derby. In fact, if you look at the 12 most important prep races, the final and the penultimate races, you'll see that 8 of those 12 races were run extremely fast early and either slow or moderate late. What that resulted in is there are a ton of closers that qualified to come into this year's Kentucky Derby. They are just not going to face that same kind of pace scenario here as they hit that first Saturday in May. Now, let's take a look at Dancing Candy, who is that lone pace horse. What's interesting about this horse is that he has to have very loose reins. He cannot be restrained. He's going to run as fast as he can, as far as he can. He probably has some distance limitations. Even the trainer, Clifford Seiss, wasn't so sure that he wanted to enter this horse into the Derby. Mike Smith has said, his jockey, that, the horse tends to dawdle a little bit at the gate. He has to really move him out of that gate. And my goodness, if he gets a one post or some of those outside posts in the Kentucky Derby, it's pretty much all over. Plus, he has to have the lone lead. He can't be around any other horses. So this horse is definitely going to be your pace leader in the Derby. He'll be pushed maybe by Nyquist. We could potentially see Outwork in there, maybe even Shagip, who has a couple of stablemates here in Mohaman, and of course in the Chad Brown barn, my man Sam, that he might want to make sure he sets an honest pace for. So they might send that one to chase the Dancing Candy. So Dancing Candy, taking a look at this one, in a race where it was a middle distance, 6-7 horses, he would look terrific on paper. But that 1.25 mile distance, quite the equalizer here. So he'll run as fast as he can, as far as he can, but I think he'll give it up in the end. So probably not a horse that you would want to single in the win hole. And remember, only 2 pace horses, wire-to-wire horses, have won the Kentucky Derby over the past 25 years. It's just really difficult to wire 19 other horses. Just make sure that you're focusing on those horses that will be just basically off the pace, maybe about middle pack. It's just going to be very difficult to see a horse coming back from 15th to 20th in this year's Kentucky Derby and winning it. There'll be a lot of horses running late that certainly could get up for the bottom of your superfecta and your trifectas, and you definitely want to include them heavily there, but not in the win spot. Go a little lighter there if you really love a closer. Finally, waiting till you see who the SuperScreener has selected as the top win contender in this year's Kentucky Derby. His odds could be 15-1 or higher, and it's not one of those California-based horses. Hey, go to SuperScreener.com right now. Check it out. All kinds of information and on sale now. And of course, after the post-draw, we'll be updating that with all the most recent information on what trainers are saying about their charges, the workouts, and of course, the all-important post-draw. So, until next time, I want you to work hard, study hard, and go fast and win.